Hello everyone. Welcome to Career Counseling course by Psychoshiksha. This is our fifth session and today we are going to cover and talk about the other two remaining personality assessment tool that we are going to use for the assessment of personality for career guidance. In the previous class, we have talked about Eisen personality questionnaire as a tool of personality assessment. Today, we are going to talk about two more, that is Big Five personality traits, and the other one is MBTI. So first, let's understand about Big Five personality trait. So Big Five personality trait or Big Five personality factors is a personality theory given by Robert Costa and McCrane. According to them, they are not three or 16 or maybe two dimensions of personality. Rather, there are five main parameters of personality on which we assess people. Big Five is a modern theory and applicable in the modern times. Hence, a lot of corporates are using this tool to assess people before recruiting them on a particular position. Now, this test comes to the acronym of OCEAN and says that five parameters are there. O stands for openness, C stands for conscientiousness, E stands for extroversion, A stands for agreeableness, and N stands for neuroticism. These are the five personality dimensions that are present, and the low score on each dimension represents the opposite of the same. So, first dimension is talk about openness to experience. Now, people who are openness to experience, they are very welcoming, they are creative, they are curious, and they welcome new ideas to themselves. Their features involve creative intellectual curiosity, imagination, adventurous, abstract thinking, sensitivity to emotions. Career choice for them is entrepreneurs, actors, writers, and musicians. The second dimension that lies here is conscientiousness. Conscientiousness involves features of dutifulness, consistency, discipline, efficiency, attention to details, cleanliness, and adhere to rules. So people who are high on conscientiousness are considered to be the great leaders because they are those people who are very right, who are dutiful, who are responsible, hardworking. So all the positive adjectives somehow come under the broad heading of conscientiousness. The career choice for them lies is lawyer, doctor, scientist, engineers, and CEOs. E stands for extroversion. Those people are enthusiastic, they are talkative, they are assertive, warmth, sociability, and level of activity. So they are very high on level of activity. So if they can be, the soul of a party or soul of any organization because they put in the positive energies and the enthusiasm that is required to push everybody around. The career choice for them is anchors, news presenters, radio jockey, public speaking, sales, and entertainment. A stands for agreeableness. Features are kindness, cooperation, sympathy, politeness, trust, and compliance. Career choice for them is nursing, social work, and counseling. So people who are high on agreeableness are the one who agree to everybody and can be a good team player. So whenever companies apply this tool or whenever companies are recruiting someone for the team worker for some team position, we do see that people who are high on agreeableness should be part of our organization because if everybody going to have those leadership skills or everybody is dominating one another, who's going to listen? The last is neuroticism. N stands for neuroticism. The features are fear, more of negative emotions like anger, fear, anxiousness, depression, worry, anxiety, suspicion, and self-consciousness. Apart from it, there's no occupation for neurotic people because a negative trait stands out and we cannot find any occupation that fits for the negative trait. And it is one of the negative traits a person can have. The assessment, when the person gets to know that he or she is neurotic, they can definitely work on it because it's not something that they are disordered with. It's a trait that is present in them. They are not emotionally very stable. They can definitely work on this area and get into the direction of understanding themselves better and others' emotions better, and it will help them for a better occupation as well. Now let's see the Big Five personality test. How does it looks like? So this is the tool that we are going to apply for career assessment. Before I proceed with it, I would like to tell you all that whenever we are doing career assessment, we can only apply one test out of three tests of personality. We are teaching you three tests just for additional knowledge, but you have to apply only one test of personality for personality assessment. If in one test you feel that the results are not very favorable, for example, EPQ, the lie skid is very much high, then you can apply a big 5. Okay. And otherwise, MBTI is more for the senior population, somebody who's passing out class 12th. On them, we can still apply the MBTI, but otherwise, any one tool has to be applied when you are doing career counseling in real terms. Moving on to personality factors. Now, this test in general have 50 questions in general, and you have to answer each statement. It's a Likert scale, and you have to answer each statement from 1 to 5. 1, if you disagree with the statement. 2, if you slightly disagree with the statement. 3, if it's neutral, you neither agree nor disagree, but try to avoid such answers of 3 because they're going to give us a very neutral response, which we do not want. 4 is slightly agree, and 5 if you completely agree with the statement. So let's see. For example, I'll just solve it for you. I'm not going to solve the complete test. I'll just solve some part of it so that it becomes more and more clearer. So let's say I am the life of the party. I completely agree. So I give myself 5. Okay. Then comes second. Second is feel little concern for others. Yes, I do not feel little. I rather feel more concern for others. So I will give myself 1. Then I'm always prepared. I would say yes, I would give myself 5. Okay, let's say 4. Like not always prepared, but most of the time I am prepared. I feel so. Okay, then get stressed out easily. Agree 4. Have a rich vocabulary. No, I don't have a rich vocabulary. I'll give myself 1 here. Don't talk a lot. No, I talk. I love to talk. So I give myself 1 again here. So you can see from 1 to 5, you have to rate in all the remaining 50 statements. Okay. Now, once you are done with it, you just, once the subject have marked all, again, in this test also, there's no time limit. And, but you have to wind up with the test as early as possible. You cannot take too long with your subject to do it. Okay. And if any word or vocabulary is not clear, you as a career counselor, you should go through it once. You should be very much well aware about what term is written when and what each term means here. Okay. Now, once the test is done, we are moving on to the scoring part. Now, how the scoring is to be done? It's again a very simple process. So in E stands for extroversion. So this is basically is the item number 1, item number 6, whatever score you have got, whatever the rating your subject has put in, you just have to put all the scoring on each item number. Okay. And the basic rule of plus minus can be applied. These numbers which are written here, 20, 14, 14, 38, 8, they need to be go as accordingly as mentioned. For example, 20 plus whatever the one item you have written. So let's suppose your subject has wait, let me just erase this part. Okay, so let's say in item number 1, your subject has got the score of 5. Okay, he or she has put the rating of 5. In item number 6, they have put the rating of 1. In item number 11, again, they have put the rating of 4. In 16, again, it's 4. In 21, it's 3. In 26, again, it's 4. In 31, it's 5. In 36, again, it's 5. In 41, again, it's 4. In 46, it's again 4. Okay. So whatever values the subject has put the rating, you have to put that. Okay. And then do plus minus accordingly. Okay. So I'll just do it. What's the answer come up? With the help of calculator, of course. So it's 20 plus 5 minus 1 plus 4 minus 4 plus 3 minus 4 plus 5 minus 5 plus 4 minus 4. So the answer comes is 23. I will write 23 here. Okay, and similar manner you have to do for all the other parameters, and whatever score you are getting here, you just have to put it down. Okay, you just have to mention it, and explanation is given for each. For example, extroversion stands for person who is outgoing. Agreeable stands for person who is agrees. A conscientiousness, people who are honest and hardworking. Neuroticism, the negative trait, and openness to experience. And in the previous PPT also, all the parts have been explained nicely. Now we move on to the interpretation part. Now, if your subject has got a raw score of 0 to 10, it means it's a low score. If the subject has got a score of 11 to 20, it means it's average. And 21 to 30 is above average, and 31 to 40 is a high score. Now here, our subject has got the score of 23 in extroversion. It means that the subject is above average. The subject has traits of extroversion, and we have to think of a combination of a job that encourage their extroversionness, where they can get energy by interacting, and a place where has some social gathering is a part of their curriculum. Okay. Now, once as a big 5 personality trait is done, we are moving on to another test, that is Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. The Myers-Briggs theory is an adaptation of the theory of psychological types produced by Carl Gustav Jung. It is based on 16 personality types which Jung viewed as stereotypes. They act as useful references point to understand your unique personality. At the heart of Myers and Briggs theory are 4 preferences. Now, the 4 preferences are extroversion versus introversion, sensing versus intuition, thinking versus feeling, and judgment versus perception. Okay, now what does each of this mean? Let's understand. Extroversion and introversion. The first pair of style is concerned with the direction of energy. If you prefer to direct your energy to deal with people, things, situation, and the outer world, then your preference is for extroversion. If you prefer to direct your energy to deal with ideas, information, explanations, or belief, or the inner world, then your preference is for introversion. The next is sensing and intuition. The second pair concerns with the type of information, things that you process. If you prefer to deal with facts, you know you have clarity, describe what you see, then your preference is for sensing. If you prefer to deal with ideas, look into the unknown to generate new possibilities or to anticipate what isn't obvious, then your preference is for intuition. The letter N is used for intuition because I has already been allocated for introversion. Now, sensing and intuition is, I would not say that you cannot go with the English names, but it's a little different than the basic English meaning. The psychological meaning here is sensing when you are having a clear preference that I want clarity, nothing ifs and buts, nothing like that. Okay, assumptions are not there. Intuitions are something when you are generating something within you that, okay, I'm getting these vibes, I'm getting this sense, this, my gut feeling is telling me something, my instincts are telling me to do something. Okay, which is something not very obvious. You want to go a little out of the way. Okay, then it's intuition. The another dimension come here is thinking and feeling. The third pair reflects your style of decision making. If you prefer to decide on the basis of objective logic using an analytic and detached approach, then your preference is for thinking. If you prefer to decide using values on the basis of what or who you believe is important, then your preference is for feeling. Now, thinking, if you're a very objective person, very logical, very analytical, very detached approach, no emotions involved, then your preference for decision making is thinking. If you're somebody who, have a feeling thing, if you believe in emotions, you go with emotional connect, or you're like, okay, I'm more concerned how other person is going to feel with this decision, then your preference before making a decision is a feeling. Last is judgment and perception. Judgment here does not mean judging someone. It is about how you adopt a lifestyle. So person who are having a judgment as an adoption of lifestyle, they are very well structured and planned, okay, predetermined. On the other hand, person with perception are go with the flow. Okay, they are not very planned, not very predetermined. They're like spontaneous. Okay, now these are the total 16 combination that formed out of this 8 dimensions, I would say we have studied, or 4 parameters. And these are the career based on them. Okay, now the test that's used there to measure it, it's this mix and bias personality test. Now this test looks like this. Every statement comes with 2 options. You have to put up one option. For example, at a party, do you interact with many, including strangers, or interact with few known to you? I would interact with many, including strangers. I'll just put a tick mark here. Are you more realistic than spectacular? Spectacular than realistic. I'm more realistic than spectacular. Is it worse to have your heads in the cloud or be in a rut? I would say be in a rut is worse to me. Are you more impressed by principles or emotions? I'm more impressed by principles. So just like that, every statement comes with 2 options, A or B. You have to choose one. And there are in total 70 items. Okay. Now you have to ask your subject to give answers, to mark answers in this particular scoring key. Okay, or you can give them the option to mark it on that particular questionnaire only, and then you yourself put ticks here. So how the scoring is to be done? Let's suppose in item number 1, you can see 1 is written. My subject has put a tick on A option. In 8 also, she has put a tick on 8. In 15 also, it's A. In 22, she has put a tick on B. In 29, it's A. It's A. Here again, it's A. It's A. It's B. And A again. So I have to count the number of ticks. That comes down to 8. I'll write 8 here, and here it will come to. So I will write 8 here. I'll put down my score and 2 here. So it means that one combination from E and I is E for my subject. Now in second again, let's do the same way. I just changed the color of the pen to make it more visible. Now column 2 and 3 work for one dimension, that is sensing and intuition. So let's say my subject has put tick into on A, then on A, then on B, A again, on 37 it's B, A, and A again. So my score here comes again 8 and 2. In column 3, let's do it again. It's A, B, 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 A, 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 and A. So here my score is 6 and 4. Now this copy 2 is written, so I'll bring my 8 and 2 here. I'll write 8 here, and I'll write 2 here. Okay, my total comes down to this. So 8 plus 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's come down to 14. And N is 6. So of course, in sensing and intuition, my subject has a sensing combination. Just like that, the same procedure has to follow for the other tables. Once you have to calculate the higher score, let's say my subject has here T and here it's P. Okay, so if you go down, every combination, all the 16 combinations have explained in detail. So my subject has a combination of extroversion, in sensing, thinking, and perception. So this is for ENFJ. Okay, they are the givers. Very elaborative explanations given for all the combinations. This is for another combination. Okay, so all the combinations, 16 combinations have been elaborated here. You can read about it when you are deciding a career for them. So this is one aspect you can take it. Very detailed and nicely, everything is written about each combination. On this note, we'll stop here for today, and in the 6th session, we are going to talk about intelligence as a career assessment tool. Thank you so much. Stay tuned with Psycho Shiksha. Bye-bye.